There were some reports from talkSPORT this week that Newcastle will listen to offers for Nick Woltemade this summer. I mean, for me, this came as a huge surprise, given that he was signed 6 months ago, given that he had such a good start, didn't he? I mean, it was absolutely brilliant. 7 Premier League goals he's got. They all came before the turn of the year, but he's also scored in every competition. He's got 10 goals so far this season. He came in as the record signing as well, you know, £69 million that they brought him in for. I mean, what was your reaction to those reports? Because, like I say, for me, it was one of shock because, okay, it hasn't been perfect, but he's a young player, Jack. And for me, he's got so much potential as a footballer, whatever role he's playing.
I was surprised. I really was surprised. Like, as you say, I don't think you spend £69 million on someone and then give up on them after a year. I would really hope Newcastle don't do that. Now, it'd be a bit different if maybe he's unhappy or what have you. I see no signs of that whatsoever. There was a report from Germany that proves to be absolute nonsense that he was unhappy, but I don't see any signs of that at all.
Well, you do see signs. He was unhappy when he didn't get.
Well, he was unhappy. Well, yeah, that's different though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
But like, he's another one who wears his heart on his sleeve, though. You can see in his body language when he's down. You see it on the pitch. When he's happy, you get it as well. So he's not that difficult to read.
No, but I think there's a difference between being unhappy with a penalty and then being unhappy in general. So I think that as long as he's playing the games. Yes, maybe not playing up front, which he probably thinks he is a striker, but if he's not playing up front, I think he'd be happy just playing the games. Now, for me, he is the player that you build the team around. Never mind thinking about getting rid of him. Like, you build the team around him because well, that's the question. I think actually, if we're going for this pressing style of football again, which it seems like we've switched back to it again, then I think you go out and you get a new striker in the summer. And the striker who I'm thinking about, who has made the most presses than anyone else basically this season, or only behind Roberto Firmino and Lautaro Martinez, is Victor Osimhen. So Osimhen presses people more than any other striker. Against Galatasaray, he created 3 goals from pressing out the field, winning about. He's 27. He got 70 goals, 130 games for Napoli. He's got 50 goals for Galatasaray. He's always wanted to play in the Premier League. He would be like that one signing whereby other people would sit up and go, wow, all right, okay.
I can't really work out how he's ended up there, to be honest.
Galatasaray.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Remember when everybody wanted him 3 seasons ago. The whole world wanted him. You had to break the bank and more to get him. And then he ended up going to Turkey, and I was like, how'd that happen?
It is strange, isn't it? It is strange. I mean,
he looked good the other night. He was
so good. I assume wages would be... Newcastle probably have to smash the wage structure, but I think for a player like that, who, for me, if you're going to play press and football, and he does, I think it's 18 presses per game, that's what he averages, then why on earth wouldn't you break the bank for him? Get him in, make a statement, give Eddie Howe that dream striker, because he would be the dream striker of Eddie Howe's pressing style, and then you put Woltemade in behind. And I'll tell you what, I think you would be looking at something pretty special there.
Well, as I referred to Joe Linton earlier on, I remember many, many stories about how we couldn't wait to get rid of him and we were going to have to take a massive cut on what we paid for him, and anybody came along with 10pence, they could have him. And then Eddie converted him and off we went. The same's going to happen here, possibly.
It's interesting though, Shaun, what you said there about where Woltemade himself would be happiest playing. Does he actually see himself as a number 9? We've seen how disappointed he is about not being able to get on the score sheet. Does that show you that, you know, if... Because I do agree with you, Jack. It'd be so exciting as a player
That'd be amazing.
As someone to build a squad around anyway. Because I do think he's a young player. There's so much talent there, but there's kind of talent where you wouldn't expect it. I feel with Woltemade.
Do you not think when you're a centre forward or you're signed as a centre forward, it feels like demotion if you played anywhere else on the pitch?
But that, I mean, I guess that would be Eddie Howe's job, wouldn't it? To say, look, you know, I see you as one of the stars of the future in this position.
Joe Linton didn't take that way. He saw it as a salvation. It saved his career.
He did.
I don't know if Woltemade would see it the same way.
What would it say as well, do you think, Jack, if, you know, this summer they do take a cut price for Woltemade? I just think that would be such a shame.
It'd be really disappointing because again, like, he's such a unique footballer. Like, he's 6'7", but he's so good with his feet and like winning free kicks, and he's so intelligent, like creating space for other people. Like, he might not be directly involved in the goals all the time, but he would be indirectly involved in all the time by creating that like a little bit of opportunity for someone else to move into. Like if you think about the goal actually against Carrotbag, Gordon's first one, like Byrne has all that space to run into because he sort of dragged someone out of position, so for Byrne to like move into it, and then Gordon makes the run in behind. That's just a bit of intelligence, and I feel like it'd be such a shame to waste that. Like I really think he could be a really, really special footballer. He might not be a 30 goal a season striker, but if you win more games with him in the team than you do without him, then surely that's the better thing for Newcastle.
It feels to me that if you sold him this summer, you'd have to mark it down as a panic buy from Newcastle. But for me, he doesn't feel like that. If I'm being totally honest, Johan Wissa does. You know, just given the fee for him and given that he was in the last year of his contract. And, you know, to be fair with the Wissa signing, he's had so many injury issues and it just hasn't kind of worked out. You know, maybe Wissa moving in the summer would make a lot more sense. Not saying that that's something the club will definitely do, but it would just make more sense to me. Whereas for me, the you know, Volultarda as a player that I want to trust in that potential.
Why have you given up on Wissa already? Though he hasn't had a chance yet. Here he goes again. Look, oh yeah,
go on, Jack.
It's not up. Look, he hasn't had a chance yet. We haven't worked out how to play him. But we've just said, all right, 5 games,
well,
6
it's a good
games.
point. It's a good point. Is there a way where Wissa becomes a very useful player to have in the squad?
I'm not saying it. I'm just not saying it because, like, I think what annoyed Howe more against Brentford annoyed me as well. Like, work hard up front, man. Like, we're a pressing team. That's when we're at our best. If the striker doesn't press, right, that ruins everything else from there because then the other players have to do more. Then, like, if you watched that Brentford game, it was Ayer and Vandenberg who were not like amazing on the ball, and they were just allowed to walk out, no pressure whatsoever. Like, if he's not fully match fit, then he shouldn't be starting. Put Asula on because Asula will run around. Yeah, he's not the finished article at all, but he will actually cause. Like, I thought against Villa, Asula wasn't great. I mean, he had a shot that went for a throw in, but he actually put them under pressure, and that annoys me more. If you're going to play in this team, the one thing you need to do is run and put the effort in. And he's not doing it. So then, and then you couple that with missing chances all the time, and it's just, look, I don't want to give up on him, but equally,
sounds like you do.
No, equally,
You do
I don't want to give up on him,
Yeah.
but I'm not seeing the signs. I need to see some more. I said when we signed him, needed to immediately come in and make impact. He got injured. That's not his fault. He missed AFCON as well, which I appreciate, but he's come back, and it was good at the start. And then since then, I don't know what's happened.
But are we expecting too much from a player who has had that injury? You know, he's going to be rusty.
Point in the sense that when he's getting into the team, you want to see minimum is you want to see effort, and he's right. He didn't put it in there, but are we discarding him that quick without giving him some run of games? I'd hesitate to do that. And he did cost a few quid.
He cost a lot.
But you're not going to get that money back.
No, that money's gone.
It's funny. Obviously, you've talked about the fact that you'd want to, you know, bring in a striker with the profile of someone like Victor Osimhen this summer. It's when we get to this summer, and if the CEO David Hopkinson puts his money where his mouth is, you know, apparently it's going to be a big old splash this summer, which, you know, should be quite exciting. What is the priority? Do you think, despite the fact that Newcastle have Johan Wissa and they do have Voltemade who can play as a number 9, do you think despite that the priority is to bring in another number 9?
Well, yeah, that's if we just say, right, Voltemade, you're gonna play as a 10, you stay, but you play as a midfielder, whatever it may be, this hybrid role that we've come up with him for. So if you stay that, then yeah, you go out, and I don't know if it'll happen, but I can't think of anyone better if you're going to play pressing football than Osimhen, because the stats show that he's the best at it. So get him.
Do you think he would consider a move to Newcastle United a step up from a Galatasaray side that's just whacked Juventus, that has massive following in that country, and where he's a hero? I'm not saying he wouldn't be a hero at Newcastle, but he seems to have found a good home.
And my worry as well, Sean, is it's not looking. It could still happen, but it's not looking that likely that Newcastle qualify for the Champions League this season. So that is going to be a big factor when trying to attract a player like that. Well, you never know. Beat Chelsea, beat Carrotbag.
Carrotbag,
Then play Man City.
Great, yeah. It's into that.